Dr. Babu Jagjivan Ram's daughter is a long-standing Congress member at the moment also. Meera Kumar is a long-standing member and she was put up by the Congress as their presidential candidate. But Dr. Ramu, 1 minute, ma'am. Dr. Ramu Manivanan, you must now hear other voices also, Sanju Verma. Dr. Ramu Manivanan, you wanted to intervene when you were hearing Sanju Verma. Go ahead.
Yeah, sure, sir. I would like to say that, like, yeah, there have been some observations that, like, this whole issue is about Tamil Nadu, and then in the rest of the country, this would have some negative implications. But my question is that in the rest of the country too, you have the Sanatana Dharma. When you interpret it, it's a Hindu way of life. But at the same time, like, you have the caste dynamics working much more powerfully in the northern states, like in UP, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, in these states. In my view, you mark my words, in the next 6 months, like this whole debate, this is what is the election main key element for the BJP and the other parties, is that this is going to work as a social justice debate. I mean, like, this is not going to remain as Udhayanidhi versus the Sanatan Dharma. This is going to emerge as Sanatan Dharma versus the social justice debate.
Okay, that's
we may see that the Congress is not coming openly to acknowledge or to refuse this whole thing, or other parties are shying away from this whole context, the debate. But the real aspect is that the dynamics of this conversation is going to take much more intense ramifications.
So you're saying that this will bring the focus back in a way. I take your point on social justice movement. Suraj Yengde, younger Dalits, how do they see it? How do younger Dalits see the Sanatan Dharma debate, those upwardly mobile, aspirational Dalits who want to move beyond, in a way, the manner in which they were typecast, stratified decades ago?
Rajdeep, it's an interesting question, but I just would like to clear my typo. I said uprooting Sanatan Dharma, referring to the Honorable MP Tiruma. He wrote Uprooting Hindutva book, right, just for the sake of clarification. As regards your question, Rajdeep, I think the upwardly mobile Dalit discourse, in many sense, is really trying to be agnostic towards such kind of defilements that are being propagated in society. And certainly they have been victims of caste. Now, when we look at the party political decorum, Congress was no less of a Sanatani when it came to practice. It just was not with its fangs, but it was nevertheless in practice. They had their own camp, and they've been having the power to hold Sanatan into its force. So
no, but let me get this clear from you, Dr. Yengde. When you refer to Sanatani, you're referring essentially to Brahminical Hinduism. Is that how you see it?
Absolutely. I mean, there has to be no doubt when we look at the evolution, and unfortunately, the word itself has been corrupted by the same Brahminical forces, which it has then adhered. It's almost a synonymous to what we today see as degradation of women, and the upholding of what we see Varnashrama Dharma, the caste system. Now, nevertheless, that the honorable person who was offering their point to say that the increase of the vote shares and to demonstrate, that doesn't really reflect the reality of what it means. And we really need to go and not really rely on something that we have seen as a telltale.
So you're saying on the ground, Sanatani is still seen, according to you, even among younger aspirational Dalits, in the form of Brahminical Hinduism that is oppressive. But Sanjay Jha, the reality that was also pointed out by Sanju Verma, the truth is that large numbers of Dalit and OBCs have gravitated towards the BJP. The BJP has been much more conscious of embracing, in a way, this rise of a sort of OBC assertiveness in the last 20-25 years. Prime Minister Modi himself is an OBC. So the Congress, in a way, is caught in a bind. Some see it as anti-Hindu, others will say it's not OBC-fied itself enough. Is it in a trap? Is the Congress caught in a trap? Where to go in this Sanatan Dharma debate? How far to push it?
Rajdeep, through the medium of your channel, a very popular program, I would like to convey to all the political leaders of the India Alliance, it's about time you stop sitting on the fence. The BJP gets away speaking in a forked tongue I mean, I have before me, and I've been a spokesperson before, the horrific atrocities committed on Dalits since 2014. And yet the BJP gets not just the Brahmin votes, but even the Dalit votes. And that is the challenge that the opposition doesn't seem to understand. I will repeat what I said earlier in your program. The BJP could have committed and can and possibly is committing political harakiri. It's for the India Alliance to go to the people of India, because caste hierarchies, social exploitation is not just in Tamil Nadu, it's happening all over the country. I'm a Brahmin from Bihar. I've grown up there in my early years, and I've heard horrific stories of upper caste dominance and how the lower caste suffered.
So you're saying the Sanatan Dharma debate, as was said by the professor, could become about Hindutva versus social justice in a way. I will, Sanju Verma, I will give you now 30 seconds to the clock, because otherwise you will say that I was unfair to you. I want to ask you very squarely, is this in a way the BJP trying in some way to change the narrative, to change the goalpost? Instead of having the debate, let's say, on Berozgari, on Garibi, on the issues that many believe should be discussed, social infrastructure, health, education, the debate is being swung towards an issue which the BJP believes is its pitch, which is religion.
Let's be very clear. I'm happy to debate on Berozgari, on the fact that India under the aegis of Narendra Modi has become the world's 5th largest economy in terms of nominal GDP, overtaking UK at $3.75 trillion. I am happy to debate with you that Narendra Modi runs the world's largest financial inclusion scheme called the Jan Dhan Yojana, where 67% of the beneficiaries are Dalits. I am happy to have a debate with you on the fact that the Narendra Modi government runs the world's largest health insurance scheme called the Ayushman Bharat Yojana, where 63% of the beneficiaries are Dalits. I'm happy to have a debate with you on the fact that the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, another farmer inclusion scheme run by the Modi government, has 59% of the beneficiaries as Dalits. I'm happy to have a debate with you on the Mudra Yojana, the world's largest self-employment scheme run by the highly successful Modi government, where 76%, you got that right, 76% of the beneficiaries are Dalits. We do not simply talk, we walk the talk when it comes to Dalit empowerment.
Okay, that, Sumant Raman, is an interesting point which is being made by Sanju Verma, that, is it, we may look at it as stereotypical Hindutva versus, 1 minute ma'am, no, 1 minute now, Hindutva versus social justice. The reality on the ground is that this is a changing political environment where every party, as I said, is reaching out now to more and more OBC groups. There's already talk that next week's special session of Parliament could see increased reservations for the lower OBCs. Do you believe that this debate can be positioned as Hindutva versus social justice, as Sanjay Jha is attempting to suggest, or Professor is?
I don't think so, Rajiv, because I don't see the BJP of today being identified as particularly a Brahminical party. Yes, there are still Brahminical elements within the party, but whether it is Mr. Modi himself at the top, wielding enormous clout, and he is not a part of the elite. He comes from the OBC community, so that itself knocks a big hole in this saying that we will project BJP as a Brahminical party. Now the point really is, you'll recall, Rajiv, during the Mandal agitation, the BJP then made Mandir. They actually brought in religion to trump the caste angle, as it were. And Mandir eventually prevailed over the the Mandal factor at the hustings. Now here is Sanjay Jha, what he is basically suggesting is to try to reverse that, and try to bring back caste differences to sort of to the fore, and push these religious polarization that the BJP has very successfully done, by the way, over the last so many years, to push it to the background. The point is, painting the BJP as a Brahmin party when it has an OBC head who basically calls almost all the shots is not going to wash. And the whole problem for the Congress is it is now stuck in no man's land. Earlier, they did take a good stance of at least going temple hopping, saying that, look, we are not anti
can I quickly comment?
No, ma'am.
Sanatan Dharma as it is perceived in the Hindi belt. And mind you, Rajiv, the battle for the Congress is predominantly going to be in those 4 or 5 or 6 Hindi belt states. So what are they looking at about what happens in Tamil Nadu or what happens in Andhra Pradesh?
Sanjay Jha, quickly respond.
What happens in the 4 or 5 Hindi belt states?
Sanjay Jha, quick response from you.
Yeah. Rajdeep, let me tell my dear friend Sumant that whether it's caste or religion, these dynamics are very fluid. We all know that Mandir and the Mandal agitation completely transformed the politics of this country, particularly in the northern part of India. So I think the truth is that if the BJP today is making the Sanatan Dharma issue into a national issue, largely focusing on the Hindutva definition of it, then there will be a pushback. I mean, that you will expect from a political party like the Congress and the other members of the India Alliance. I do believe it makes the competitive field more fluid, and the India Alliance actually should be able to corner Mr. Modi instead of going on the defensive.